Hello all, here I am in Indianapolis, and my name is Marianne Boruch, and I'm here to tell you about this recent book of mine, Bestiary Dark. This poem is, I spent 5 months in Australia as a Fulbright scholar, and to do my so-called research, observing the wildlife there, to write poems. And this is one of them. So we get there just as some asshole, forgive me, on a joyride in the outback runs her down, the emu, and keeps going. After all, he's got a planet to desecrate. A very long line of feathered, bloody something she's lifting now and falling back to the road, not exactly an ostrich, but as lordly and slower each time. Don't fool yourself. It wasn't wind, not a broken hinge crying out to open a door. Our worthless offerings. Oh, emu, here's our numb speechlessness. But there are those who drive to, who cares if I kill, and never regret. We willed that news to her, medieval as prayer, all abruptly stricken in the Flinders. The hand-wringing two of us, as another acolyte stepped from his truck with a huge plumber's wrench to bash her kindly, a good 1, 2, 3, her oh, each time faint, fainter, oh, on a loop. Reader, you who think poems should never story too much or render news of the day, I need to get this right. Grief is human speak for emu. Night's quiet since then. So that was, this is one of the clearer poems, because it's a true narrative in this book. But I have to tell you that this emu, I wrote this first, and then there were other emu poems sort of related to this, where the emu comes back from the dead to speak. And apparently this is a very common thing in Australia, where people hit a kangaroo or some other creature, an emu, and just keep going, because they're constantly crossing the roads. So, in fact, and there's another poem here about this. My husband and I were volunteers at a rescue place in Canberra, the capital where we were stationed first for 4 months, and we volunteered to bottle feed joeys, little baby kangaroos and baby, whatevers, because especially with the kangaroos or the wallabies, the mothers are hit and the joeys are still in the pouch, and they're in the pouch a long, long time, and they're alive, and so they get rescued, and then, people raise them. So anyway, that was amazing, to feed like that, feed them. I guess, it was really a remarkable experience. Australia seems like it's just like America in a way. Everybody wears the same clothes we wear, and, they have shopping centers like we have them with some of the same stores, but they even have Aldi there. There's a really different sensibility about the wildlife and the natural world, and of course, many of these creatures are threatened, and then the fires came, so the great fires, and we left right before the fires happened, so I was writing these poems as they were happening, and the fire comes into this, and our friends there would email us about wearing gas masks to bed at night and things like that. It's like just amazing, over 3 billion creatures were killed outright, and it was just very haunting to write this book. The emu, though, is really the conscience of the book, I think. The emu will speak truth to power, in its own way, and just kept returning. And I just kind of let that kind of happened to me as I was writing. So it was very spooky writing this book, actually.